welcome to a special edition of Coach's Corner 2008. My name's Andy Bortz. You may see the football decor behind us, but we are actually previewing the basketball seasons for the PAC. And with me today is head coach of the Lady Titan basketball team, Roseanne Scott. Coach, thanks for being on the show with us today.
Thanks, Andy.
It's going to be a fun season because, you know, we go down a PAC Media Day and everybody's making predictions of where these teams are going to end up. What's that like to get with that fraternity of coaches, as I heard it described, and get to just converse about the season?
I think it's nice just to catch up with everybody, see how their preseason is going, their summer was, and just to not really talk basketball, but just to catch up with everybody. And it's you don't really have time when you see them when you play them, so it's nice to just to see everybody and hope everything's going well with everybody.
What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a look at some highlights from PAC Media Day down in Pittsburgh. Here's what all the women's basketball coaches had to say this year. And now we move on to women's basketball and where they were ranked in the PAC preseason. And the Waynesburg Lady Yellow Jackets ranked at the bottom at PAC Media Day, number 8, but their new head coach shows a lot of promise.
Before the first practice, I'd never seen any of my kids play. I got my job late enough, freshman returners, so it's been a steep learning curve for me and for them.
The Teal Tomcats were ranked 7th in the PAC preseason poll, and head coach Artina Trader says the team's ready to play hard.
We have 7 returners, one of which is Amber Bodrick, senior, pretty much plays any position she wants to on that given day.
The Grove City Lady Wolverines were ranked 6th in the PAC preseason poll, and head coach Sarah Harris says there are some questions with the team.
The 2 big question marks for us will be, as always, health and size. And don't know how those questions will be answered quite yet, but in the meantime, I've got a small group that is working hard, and they are embracing a lot of the new challenges I've set before them, and I've been impressed, especially with our returners, in how they have come back.
In only their 2nd year in the PAC, the Chatham Lady Cougars rank 5th, and head coach Mark Katarski says it's going to be an interesting season.
As far as our team, you know, a season ago I stood here, and just hoped that we could compete in the league in our first year in. We feel like we did last year, and we were a fairly young team as a group. We have 11 players back from last year. Our top 8 scorers are back, so we're anxious about that. That's something new for us, for sure.
Your Westminster Lady Titans ranked 4th. We'll talk to head coach Roseanne Scott in just a moment. But first, let's hear what Bethany head coach Rebecca Upton has to say about her team being ranked 3rd in the PAC preseason.
So we do have all 5 starters back, which is good. 8 returners total, which is nice. We also have 9 freshmen, which is interesting. So again, I really don't know where we're gonna fix, fit into everything.
The defending PAC champions, the Washington and Jefferson Lady Presidents, are coached by Gina DeRubo. She's a 6-time PAC Coach of the Year, and she says, look out.
And we hope to build on our success from last season. We have a good, strong freshman class that we think 2 or 3 of them will impact us immediately. They've been working hard, and practice has been going well. So we are hoping, like I said, to keep Kenan healthy, the leader of our team, and compete for conference championship this year.
And the team who the Lady Titans beat in the playoff semifinals last season, the Thomas More Lady Saints, ranked number 1 in the PAC preseason poll. Head coach Brian Neal says it's a place that they've been before, and they know what to do to get it done.
We're different in the fact that we have 4 very good players returning, and then Kristen Humphrey is coming back, but we're not near as deep as we have been for the last 2 or 3 years. And so we have some question marks.
Coach Scott, it was a great season for the Lady Titans last year, getting all the way to that final game. It was fun to watch them play and get to that point. Now, what are the expectations for the team this year with such different structural changes with Emily Ackerman not part of it?
I think the expectations are the same. It was surprising, I think, that our coaches in the conference picked us to be 4th again, and that's always our goal when we start the season, is to make it to the Final Four PAC tournament, and just to give ourselves an opportunity to get to that championship game, and that we have done for the past 2 years. So the expectation is still there. It might take us a little bit longer to get the season to where we need to be without Emily and Therese in there, because we have a lot of freshmen that are going to have to step in, especially in the post, to So our expectations same, but it might be I might get a little bit more gray hair along the ways this year.
Well, Emily Ackerman, no stranger to anybody who's ever played in the PAC. Team's leading scorer, had over 20 points per game. She was the 3rd leading scorer in the nation. And is this one of those times where you have any pressure to find areas where those points can be made up now that she's gone?
No, I believe it's going to be more of a team effort. I think Emily created a lot of shots for her teammates because they would double her on the post or really concentrate on her, where, Emily was just an outstanding all-around player, and you're not going to ever, you're not going to replace that. But I think more scouting-wise, teams are going to have maybe a harder time saying, okay, we need to shut down Gina, but no, now we have Caitlin who could score, and Amy could score too, Post could score. So we're trying to make it more well-rounded instead of just, one person focusing on. So
now, compared to the season before when Desiree Sterling was on the squad, the season afterward seemed to be much more of a nice transition, trying to find players to fill the gap when she left as a senior in her year. Is there going to be a similar transition this year?
It'll be a little bit more tougher. I think with the transition from when Desiree was here was that freshman class with Rachel Martinko, Amy Dolsack, that class, they got minutes, so they were able to have more game experience, where these freshmen coming in don't have a lot of game experience, and that's where the transition will take a little bit longer for them to get used to.
Now, so far, talking about practice and those 6 incoming freshmen, I believe that's what you said when you were at Pac Media Day. Is there anything about this class, this freshman class, that distinguishes them from maybe any other freshman class that you may have coached throughout your tenure?
I think all 6 of them are working hard. All 6 of them bring something different to the table, and I think they're a little bit more diverse. I could use them in different ways, where before, I could use our post players inside and outside. This year I can. Or in the past, our posts were just post players. And I think you're going to see a lot of us more up tempo and not necessarily making that, dominant presence inside, because these kids could do just about everything. So that'll be nice. Now,
from a coaching standpoint, how much of a vital element is it to be able to have all those different aspects of the game be able to play in your favor with those kind of caliber players?
Oh, it's very important, because you could switch up your game plan in the middle of the game when you need to, and instead of having somebody know just one position, they're going to have to know the other. So, you never know if foul trouble happens, this happens, not to say knock on wood, but injuries, stuff like that. So it does help to have them be more versatile.
We did see one of the coaches in Pac Media Day, knock on wood, regarding the injury situation. But as far as leadership on the team this year, we've got Gina Brunetti, and she's been putting up a lot of good plays, especially last year, really took over for the team and really showed that she was a leader. How has she matured during your coaching years here?
Oh, she's come a long way from her freshman year, and she still kind of talks about, defensively it was hard for her to adjust to. And from high school to here, but she has come a long way, but she has worked hard. I mean, she is one of the kids that you'll see in the gym over the summer. You know that she's working hard off season just as much as in season, and she's matured a lot and has kind of took ownership of this team and kind of wants to have a great senior year.
And one of the other players that we saw who was injured last year for part of the season was Lynn Riley. What kind of dimension is she going to bring back to the team?
Lynn is doing well, recovering from her ACL, and I think she's going to come back and bring the same thing that she did last year. Her defense, her quickness. I mean, you still see it at practice, and I'm happy for her.
Now, as a coach, that first game of the season doesn't seem too far away. To the average fan, it just kind of like sneaks up on them. They all of a sudden turn on the TV and they realize, oh, we're in basketball season. Now, how much do you have to get the team ready so that they don't realize, oh my, the season's upon us already?
It's hard, and especially we have probably about 8 healthy kids right now practicing, and we have our scrimmage coming up Saturday, so it's kind of, I think Saturday will be good for them to kind of, especially the freshmen, to say, okay, well, this is college basketball, the different style of the game, up tempo, you have the shot clock coming in there, so. And I just think continue practice, making competitive and doing things to prepare them, special situations and stuff like that in practice kind of helps.
Now, based on what you heard from Pac Media Day, do you feel like there are going to be any teams in the PAC that are really going to be hurdles that the Titans are going to need to actually think about a little bit harder before they step on the court?
I think like I said, I'm surprised that we got picked so high up. I think we're the ones that are gonna. It's gonna be hard for us each game. We're the only team that doesn't have all 5 starters back this year, and that's where we are going to be the ones focusing each game at a time. Where we're not going to assume when we step on the floor we're going to win the game just because we're the Westminster Titans. So it's going to be a tough year. Every game. So,
what's the element of confidence like being picked up that high in the PAC poll to start the season?
It was good. I think when I told the kids that, they were excited, and I explained to them. But that's expectations that we have established here. Winning year to year, making it to the final game. That's the expectation, and the expectation is going to be there every day of practice, every day when we step on the floor. So we have to live up to those expectations, and that's what kind of we're working for right now.
Now, from your standpoint, what's it going to take this year with elements of the team? What's it going to take to get you back to that playoff game for the PAC tournament?
I think defensively. I think we have to be able to understand what we want them to do, and just throwing different things out there defensively is going to be huge for us because we don't have that big post player inside, so we're going to have to help each other out a lot more.
And every time the players step on the court, what is your message that you want the team to be able to maybe do better than the other team as far as maybe offensively?
Offensively?
Yes.
I would say crashing the offensive rebounds would be one thing is we're big on is rebounding, both defensive and offensively. But offense, it's you can't predict that you're going to go out there and make every shot. You don't know what you're going to shooting your percentage is going to be. It could be 20%, it could be 50%, but you can crash the offensive boards and get second chances.
And one more thing, talking about during the season, is there going to be a transition maybe during the season try and play without Emily Ackerman and the other players that graduated last year?
Oh, absolutely. It's going to start right from the first game, and Gina's going to be looking to pass the ball to Emily, and it's not going to be there. But just like we had to get used to last year with Rachel Martinko leaving during the middle of the year, and we got through that. So these kids are strong, and they're working hard, and they want to win. So we'll get it done.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck on this season. We're glad that you were able to stop by and talk about PAC Media Day with us.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll be back to talk with Coach Ondeko for the men in just a moment. Stick around. You're watching Coach's Corner. Ready to get your broadcasting career off and rolling? Then it's time to explore your options by being a part of Titan Radio at Westminster College.
We try to run the radio station as closely as what might be found in the real world.
There's student anchors, student reporters, student producers.
It's really hands-on, and you learn a lot your first year.
From keeping the community informed.
I'm Pamela Marlowe with the Titan Radio News Update.
To keeping the community entertained.
Maroon 5, going out on tour again.
You'll get all the radio experience you could ask for, and more, only at Westminster College.
If we can't beat the competition's price, we'll just give you the car.
But a vehicle is more than price.
A whole lot more.
Gio Crivelli consistently invests in manpower, training, and equipment to deliver car buyers peace of mind.
From our state-of-the-art repair and service garage to our award-winning auto body repair center, Gio Crivelli is prepared to earn your trust.
Gas, stingy, and Impala to rugged Silverado, Gio Crivelli Chevrolet, Route 18, Newcastle.
And remember, if we can't beat the competition's price, we'll just give you the car.
Welcome back to Coach's Corner. Once again, a special edition this time. You may see, once again, the football decor behind us, but today is actually a day where we're going to be talking about basketball previews for PAC Media Day, and this time I've got the Titan men's head coach with us, Coach Larry Ondeko. Coach, thanks a lot for coming along.
Oh, sure, no problem.
And I hope you guys really valued that PAC Media Day because it seemed like everybody just got there and had a lot of fun. What do you like about going down to PAC Media Day every year?
Oh, it's nice just kind of see all the coaches, and it really puts the emphasis on the season starting. And, you catch up on a lot of where recruits ended up and how everybody's team's looking. So, and it makes it official. It feels like you're definitely a college basketball program. So it's a nice day.
Okay, well, we're going to take a look at what some of the men coaches had to say about their teams in the PAC and as far as how they were going to perform this season. Take a look. Starting with the men, the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets ranked number 7 out of 7 teams in the PAC, but senior Colby Grubish is anticipating a good season from the Jackets.
First thing first, we're all healthy. At this point last season, we had 3 injuries out for the year, so health is a good issue for us this year.
Your Westminster Titans ranked 6 on the list. We're going to talk to Coach Larry Ondeko in just a moment, but the Teal Tomcats ranked number 5, and head coach Tim Loomis says they have a lot of goals this season they want to accomplish.
Hopefully this year, our main goal obviously is to win the league. But that'll be a difficult task with the type of older players in the league, and it'll mean how well we mature as a team, obviously, when you're very young. But they have a lot of experience, no excuses this year.
Number 4 on the list is the Thomas More Saints, and Coach John Ellenwood says they are very excited about this season.
Well, we're excited. It's very early in the season, and you know, some days we have a good practice, other days it's, you know, we look like it's early in the year. So we know it's going to be competitive, and we know we have to, you know, win every day and try to have you know, steps every day to lead us towards our goals.
Grove City comes into the 2008-2009 season with high hopes. 11th year coach Steve Lammy says they've got a lot of returning experience.
Back, we graduated four seniors, 3 of which are in our record book with regard to three-point shooting. So we're going to miss them, and are going to have to adjust our offense a little bit due to that.
One of the dominating forces of the pack, the Bethany Bison, has the only new head coach in men's pack play this year. Mike Summy says it's going to be an interesting uphill climb for his experience.
We enter our 101st season of Bethany basketball with a lot of great tradition, as I said, 12 PAC championships, and the guys that I have on my team right now understand that tradition and that experience maybe even better than I do. I've been trying to learn it the last 6 months since I've been there. We have 3 great seniors. We have 20 terrific guys that I believe in 100%.
And topping the list, Washington and Jefferson under head coach Glenn Gutierrez says they've got a great program and they understand that returning experience is going to be the key.
Hopefully things turn differently this year. As far as us, we do have a lot of returners. I'm fortunate and happy about that. That's the good news. The bad news is that we're still in a learning process. It's a long process of learning what it takes not only to be a great team, but also more importantly what it takes to have a great program.
Now, Coach, you know, one of the things about going to PAC Media Day is that you get to learn about all the coaches and, you know, even get some background on some new coaches. We saw the new coach for the Bethany Bison there. What's it like to be able to get experience and background on these coaches before you start this season?
Well, it's kind of funny. I'm only in my 6th year, but there's been a lot of turnover as there is in Division III. So, you know, for the most part, though, you understand what this level's about and what the programs and what the teams are going to bring in terms of it. The hard part is, as most of the coaches have said, we have this media day only after about 3 or 4 practices. So they're not even sure exactly what their teams are capable of doing, as I was at that time also. So that's probably the biggest thing is you understand it's just the beginning and you really got to wait a month or 2 before you can really tell what teams are going to be like.
Well, Coach, let's talk about the Titans, picked 6th in the PAC preseason poll. And we know last season the guys played so hard. They had, you know, several games. 3 points was the deciding factor in the game. And what really we want to know is, are they starting to really gel for the season, the team, without some of the leadership that was on last year?
Oh, yeah. We're doing well. We had our first scrimmage last night. It went very, very well. And, you know, some of the coaches mentioned up there about the team's health, and that's been a huge issue for us in the past couple of years. And we've got most of our guys healthy. And, you know, last year was a tough year, but our tough thing is a lot of our success is going to depend on kids coming back from injury and freshmen. And that's, you know, again, that's tough to talk about early in the season, but I like so far what we've seen.
Of course, Craig Hannon graduated last year, really put up a huge show every game for the fans and put up a lot of points every game. What was it like to be able to coach with his leadership that he had on the floor?
Craig was a heck of a college basketball player. You know, we've been at different levels the past few years. When I played, we were in the NAI, and then we were Division II, and now we're Division III. But Craig was as good as anybody was in our program at their level. You know, he was as good a Division III guard as we probably could have had. He shot the ball incredibly well, and really by the end of his career was a very good overall basketball player. And obviously that's going to be tough to replace. And what you usually try and do is replace with a couple people instead of just one. So tough to lose the 3 seniors we did. because they really gave us 4 very good years.
And the other seniors great as well. Chauncey Whitlow, I remember one of them always had a lot of fun out there on the basketball court. But let's talk about the three-point attack for the team, because there's a little different factor this year in that the three-point line has been scooted back just a little bit. So does that affect strategy at all?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I thought it really affected us in the first few practices. We didn't shoot the ball particularly well, and I thought it was going to be a big factor. But last night we made 19 threes in our scrimmage, and it didn't seem to be as big of a factor. We still have a bunch of good shooters, and I'm not sure it's going to be as dramatic in that sense. I think the big thing will be our defense. Playing against teams that might not have as many good shooters, we're going to probably play a little bit more zone than we have in the past to compensate. But it is going to be a difference. Just having 2 lines out there is a difference. Having that girls' line and our line. And I've actually heard some of the girls' coaches at Media Day say that our line is affecting their game because girls are running to the line. They're used to shooting from the only line on the court, the one furthest back, and they're actually shooting from the wrong one. So, yeah, it's going to be a big difference. There's no doubt about it.
Now, obviously, last year there were many injury plagues. Everybody healthy for the season?
Well, so far, for the most part. Stephen Bielik's not quite ready yet. It's going to be another couple weeks. But, again, after our scrimmage last night, we have, 11 guys. 10 of them are healthy. And, yeah, it's tough because, you can't play if you're sitting on the sidelines, and it doesn't matter how good you are. So, hopefully that's our big thing. Probably the thing I'm most happy about from our scrimmage last night is that nobody got hurt. So if we can do that every night, I think we're going to be okay.
Well, speaking of escaping the injury bug, we had David Richards and Ryan Murray pretty much escape the season injury-free. I remember when Ryan Murray got bopped in the nose for the one game, but what did they each add to the game? Because they were able to stay in every game and they were able to play hard. So what kind of factors are they in the game?
Well, Ryan's probably the best player in our league. I mean, he is very, very good. He had 39 points in our scrimmage last night in only 30 minutes. I think if I left him in the whole time, he'd have probably scored 50. And David, he's been he's played a lot over the past 3 years, and he's been on some very good teams, and as last year, a team that struggled. So he knows what we need to do, and has provided good leadership. And I think both of them, obviously, having been on an NCAA tournament team and then being on last year's team, certainly want to get turned around back to what it was 2 years ago.
And getting to see Bobby Glass step back onto the court, just a special story. What's it like to be able to coach him?
Well, it's great. I mean, after, I don't even know how many years now it's been, but, I was certainly looking forward to coaching him when he transferred here, and it just hasn't worked out. But it's just great for him. Obviously, it's a huge help to our team. He's a very, very good player. But even if he wasn't, it's great to just see him on the court, to be, where he was in that hospital, having open heart surgery at the age of 21, to now 2 years later see him out playing on the court. His parents were so excited last night to see him play. He felt great. It's great. Our guys are really excited to see him play. So, above everything, it's just good to see his health and everything heading in a good direction.
So with everybody needing to stay healthy and trying to put points on the board, what do you think is going to be the key to getting this young team to that PAC final?
Probably our health. It's just such a factor. Stephen Bielik, 6'8", he's the only 6'8" kid we have. If he gets healthy, or if he gets hurt, we're a lot smaller. If Ryan Murray gets hurt, we're not as good. So you've got to stay healthy, and it's very, very tough. And typically we have. It's just been the injuries that we've had. Like you said, Chauncey, Jake, Craig, they went through their whole careers and never got hurt. So I'm not anticipating that. I'm hoping it was just a bad stretch. Someone put a hex on us or something. But hopefully that'll be past and we can just concentrate on playing good basketball. But I just believe as long as we stay healthy and progress, we're going to be a very good team in February.
Now, I asked Coach Scott this question for the women's side of things. Any teams at PAC Media Day that you feel like are going to be one of the hurdles that you may have to go over that you might have not anticipated firsthand?
I don't want to say that I hadn't anticipated. We got picked 6, so obviously we got a few hurdles. And that's about where I would pick us. I mean, we lose our all-time leading scorer, 2 other seniors, and we only won 7 games. So I wouldn't pick us much higher than that. But I think Thomas More is going to be very good. Obviously Bethany has proven over the past 5 years to be very good. And W&J has been to the final game, I think, each of the past 2 years. So there's a lot of good teams out there. I wouldn't be surprised if any of the top 6 teams get there. And, you know, like you say, that's why we play the season.
You guys going to keep the three-point strategy this year? Because it really was really effective last season.
Yeah, you know, we'll still shoot them. I'm not sure we'll shoot them the way we have in the past, but I'm not sure anybody will. You know, I think the numbers will go down in terms of attempts. But, yeah, it's certainly a point of emphasis for us. And as long as we have kids that can shoot it, you know, we're not just going to shoot it for the heck of it. But, yeah, we've got a bunch of good shooters that can put it up. And, yeah, it certainly spreads the floor, makes teams come out and guard you, and opens up our inside game. So definitely something we're going to utilize.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward to an entertaining season, and we thank you for coming onto the show for us today.
Well, we appreciate you having us.
Okay, we're going to be back, and we're going to wrap up Pack Media Day right here on the Westminster Cable Network. Don't go away. You're watching Coach's Corner.
Do you want to learn how to broadcast a big game just like the pros at ESPN? If so, the Broadcast Communications Department at Westminster College is where you need to be. At Westminster, you learn what it takes to be live out in the field. Westminster lets you learn all aspects, from behind the scenes in the truck, directing and running instant replay, to filming the action with a camera or announcing play-by-play. So if you want hands-on, live experience, check out the Broadcast Communications major at Westminster College. For more information, visit us online at titanradio.net.
So you're a huge Western Pennsylvania football fan? Then ncnewsonline.com is for you. Crunch is an award-winning internet site of the Newcastle News devoted to area high school football, where you'll get a daily fix of schedules, scores, rosters, highlights, opinion, and player profiles, plus video and photo galleries. Online at ncnewsonline.com. It's football coverage as it happens, designed for you, the dedicated fan. Crunch online at ncnewsonline.com.
Welcome and thank you for joining us on Coach's Corner today. My name's Andy Boritz. Just wrapping up a little bit of Pack Media Day footage from basketball, and we're going to see what the women's basketball pack standings overall were like. In fact, we're going to have the graphic up for you to show you what it looks like. There it is. You see Waynesburg at the bottom of the pile there, along with Teal. Grove City coming in 6th. The Chatham Lady Cougars, who are only in their 2nd year in the pack, coming in 5th. And then your Westminster Lady Titans coming in 4th. Going to be an exciting season for them. The Bethany Lady Bison up there, also the Washington and Jefferson Lady Presidents, and also the Thomas More Lady Saints. All of those teams ranked up pretty high in the pack regarding Thomas More and Washington and Jefferson, 2 of the teams that made it to the pack finals last year as well. Now, if we go to the men's side of things, same deal. The Waynesburg Yellow Jackets also in the preseason ranked at the bottom. The Westminster Titans ranked 6th. The Teal Tomcats coming in there 5th. Thomas More, who the Titans beat late in the last season, coming in 4th. Grove City, the crosstown rival, in 3rd. The Bethany Bison, who, remember, the Titans actually upset in one of the final games last season, coming in 2nd. And of course, always a force for the pack title is the Washington and Jefferson Presidents, and it's going to be exciting to see what all those teams can do this season. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of Coach's Corner. Join us next week as we bring Coach Jeff Hand back into the hot seat, and we're going to talk Titan football once again. You've been watching a special edition of Coach's Corner regarding basketball, and we'll see you next week for football once again. Have a good one.
Are you tired